Hey, what's up guys? So technically I've already been making some videos along the way, but I figured I'll make this my little intro to what I'm doing. So this is 72 Chevelle Wagon. Technically this is the concourse is what they actually call it. I think there's like a Brentwood, a concourse, and then there's something else. Shit, I don't know. Whatever, Google it. But this is my 72. I have a 72 El Camino. That was my stepdad's that I got, so that's kind of more emotionally attached to me. So this one I'm redoing, and I'm doing it from the ground up. I've always loved the 72. I love the 72 front end. I know everybody likes the 68 to 70 with the double 4-inch headlights. I've always loved the 71, 72, preferably the 72, because on the 72 the corners doesn't have that bar in the middle. So but I got this back when I turned 21. I am now old as shit. 35, so I've had that for about 14 years. That one is going to be a love project. I'm going to make sure I take that down all the way. When I got it, it was running. It had like a large Journal 327. I had bought a ton of 350 parts, 383 stroker parts for it, and I would always wonder why it never got anything out of it. My dad does machine work. He's worked at a machine shop for years, so amazing part is I get a motor work for fairly cheap. So when I took the crank over to him, he looked at it and he was like, oh yeah, this is a 327 crank. So I'd always wondered why I never got any power out of it, but that's why. So what I did is, along the way, along the 14 years, I ended up having a couple kids. I have 3. So I always told my wife that I wanted to fix this up and I wanted to get this running, but once the kids came, it made it harder to be able to fit a family of 5 inside that. We used to have a wagon when I was younger, and I always loved the wagon. I always enjoyed sitting in the very back, kind of waving at everybody. I always thought that was dope. So as I got older, I've been wanting to get one myself. So finally one day, my wife was like, you know what? She was a good wife. I appreciate that. She's like, you know what? You've been talking about wanting to get one. If you find one and it's decent, why don't you pick it up? So yeah, that night I found this. I figured, you know what, while she gave the go-ahead, I might as well jump on it now, because I don't know if she was real or if she was really joking. So I made sure I got it that night. Like I said, it's a 72. I wanted a 72 because it sounds dumb, I'm gonna start my 72 collection. I got my 72 El Camino, I got my 72 Chevelle Wagon. Now the only one that I need is my 72 Chevelle, which are fucking expensive, which makes no sense, but it is what it is. So yeah, anyways, got the wagon. The main reason why I got this one is because not only does it sit 5, it actually has a far back seat that I can actually put the kids in the back, mainly my son. He can go in the far back and then he can actually check it out. Love the car. When I got it, it had a 383 stroker. It had a weird knock. I don't know if it was probably like a main bearing, rod bearing that was going out, but the head, something was off. It just didn't sound right. So I had bought a ton of 383 parts for the El Camino, so I figured, you know what, at least with the wagon I can put everything in it and I can get it going and I can have the family actually riding it. So what I did is I took the motor out, and then I took all the parts that I had bought over the years and I took it over to my dad's shop. And one of my dad's buddies, his name is Alan, over at Motor Warehouse, he actually hooked it up. He does race motors, so he was actually able to take everything, he balanced it, blueprinted it. I've got Manley 6-inch rods. I've got Icon forged pistons because long story short, this will be a twin turbo setup that I'm going to do. Everything I have set up for it. Here, give me 1 second, let me put this down and I'll pop open the hood. It's dirty dusty right now, so don't judge me, but everything I got for it I got because it's gonna be a twin turbo. It's been sitting for a little while. I need to clean it. So any of you fuckers that are like, oh my god, it's so dirty, like, screw you, get your own car to play with. What I did is, like I said, it's a 383 stroker, but the oil pan I have, it's a clearance oil pan with baffle, with windage, with crank scraper built into it. It's the GM Performance Parts Vortec heads is what I have on it. The biggest thing that I did, besides the MSD, everybody does the MSD, I went, because I know fuel injection is the way to go, and there's so many damn fuel injection companies out there, I found this. Phytec. Phytec has their own fuel injection system. With the Phytec, it actually makes it nice. This one is the 1200 horsepower one, which, hey, one day it'd be great if this had 1200, but at this point I think we're sitting right about, I think it's like 460, 470, give or take, I think is what the estimate was. But with this, the issue that I'm having with the wagon, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is, Phytec fuel injection is great. I had to get the remote fuel pump. What it does is basically the remote fuel pump, it's a remote electronic fuel pump. I've got the mechanical pump. Mechanical pump pumps out about 6 psi-ish up to the electric fuel pump. That then pumps to the actual Phytec brain, to the everything, you know. I'm tired, coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Running it that way, the way that it works out is that is a max horsepower application, about 800. So right now I'm fine. If I was to do a single turbo setup, I'd probably still be fine. The drawback is if I want any more, the fuel tank on these wagons sucks. The fuel tank on these is actually in the rear driver quarter panel. So to get to it, you actually have to take bolts off, and then the whole tank is all up top. You could actually see, here I'll show you. Body work is starting. You can see videos to come that's going to talk about this shitty ass body work that we found. The gas lid is actually the tank. So the tank goes all the way from the top to the bottom. I'm not sure, I think I read there's like 17 or 18 gallon tanks. I'm probably way off. But the issue with those tanks is there's no way to put an actual, well, there is, but it's a pain in the ass, to actually custom make an actual, like a submerged fuel pump system. All the tanks that you can get, like for the El Camino, which I'm going to do some type of force injection on that, the tanks are the standard like Chevelle tanks that go inside the back. The reason why you can't get those tanks for this is because I've got the third row. So because the third row is in it, the tank is actually in the far, because the third row is there, the people's feet go where the gas tank normally goes. So that's why they put the fuel tank in the actual rear quarter. So horsepower wise, I'm limited to about 800 right now. If I wanted to do E85 or any of like the E30, E50 kind of fuel setups, it sucks because any of those require 30% more fuel. So my 800 horsepower then technically just went down to like, I think it's like 620 or I don't know. I don't math well in the morning, and I'm doing this first thing in the morning. So, but anyways, yeah, that's a little bit about what I'm doing on here. But I'm gonna do some videos to kind of update everything that we've done. You might be able to kind of tell some things I've done, but I've got other videos doing it. I wasn't gonna really do a channel or anything about the car, but after finding out that there's absolutely no there is no videos of how to airbag 68 to 72 Chevelle. I think Ride Tech has one video on it, and it actually shows you frame 68 to 72, but not actually on a vehicle 68 to 72. So that's what I'm doing with this. I'll show you how I airbagged it. I'll show you how everything was ran. I'll show you the awesome shoddy God, the body work. I don't know who it was. Like I said before in one of the videos, you'll see it's like I don't blame the previous owner, or maybe not the previous owner, but somebody knew they did wrong, because that body work is god awful. But yeah, so this is my love project, and really this is the love project for the wife and kids to be able to ride in. We go to different car shows. I'm here in Sacramento, so a lot of the car shows we do, Pleasanton, Good Guys does a lot of the Pleasanton car shows. Every August we go up to Reno for Hot August nights and have fun. So This, I figure I went fuel injected, so that way it's a better ride. It's more stable, and it's better gas. It really is. But like I said, this you'll start seeing some videos about everything. I'll start going over the process and everything that we've done. But me and my buddy Todd, he's helping me along the way, and thank God for him, because I know some things, but he knows the most things. So without him, there's some welding and stuff I wouldn't be able to do. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it.